And hello and welcome to my kitchen. It looks like I'm here alone tonight for the time being anyway. So before I show you how to make elephant ears, which are the simplest but most delicious snack, happy Valentine's Day. I'm here alone because Hannah's deserted me. She's gone off with Cameron for a romantic Valentine's Day, and she tells me they're going to wash her car. So I'm guessing that it'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure. At least she's doing something practical. And as Wayne says, she's her mother's daughter, ever practical and romantic at the same time. So that's pretty nice. Wayne's gone out. He's abandoned me on Valentine's Day to go to a meeting. AJ's not home yet from work, and Tom is home but locked up in his room doing whatever it is he does. So it's just me. Before I do the elephant ears and talk about other snacks, because snacks were something that cropped up on Tuesday night and took up quite a bit of time, which is fine, didn't worry me at all, but it's something that people seem to struggle with. So I thought we'd do those tonight and go over snacks, especially in light of the beginning of the school year when everyone's enthusiastically packing lunch boxes and things and wants them to look like those gorgeous lunch boxes that you see on Facebook. My kids' lunch boxes never looked like that, I'll tell you now. They just didn't. I didn't have time to do smiley faces and cutesy little sandwiches and chop eggs into little pieces, and no, it was just they got what they got and they ate it. But before I do all that, I want to remind you all that Coles has whole fresh Steggles chickens on sale this week for $2.90 a kilo, and it seems to be a national special from what I've been able to figure out off their website. That's a great price for whole chickens. It is a brilliant price for whole chickens. And as I mentioned on Tuesday night, they're really easy to cut up if you want to do it yourself. In fact, all you need is a really sharp knife, or I have these Wiltshire kitchen shears that, can you see them? There we go. That Wayne bought me years ago. They were about $20, I think, maybe a bit more. And we actually bought them from a man at the Queen Vic Market. But any good kitchen shop should have shears that you can use. These are good because they've got the, can you see it, the cutout bit there that fits over bones and knuckles so that you can cut without actually having to put a lot of pressure on your hands. And it's got that bit in there too, which is actually a nutcracker. But brilliant. Best kitchen present he's ever bought me, I think. I love my shears. I've also posted a link on Cheapskates Chatter to the how to cut up a whole chicken how-to sheet that we produced a couple of years ago. So if you want to be able to print it off, go to Facebook, go to Cheapskates Chatter and look for how to cut up a whole chicken and download the sheet from there, or go to our website and type it into the search bar. If you're a member, a Cheapskates Club member, you will need to log in first to do that. All right. Snacks can take up a great deal of your budget. They can take up almost half the average weekly grocery budget. Mind-blowing, I know. When you consider biscuits, cakes, fancy breads like sweet buns and croissants and things like that, chips, corn chips, popcorn. People buy popcorn. It's the easiest thing in the world to make at home, and it costs just a few cents for a huge bowl. Then you've got the things that go with those, the salsas and the dips and the cheese spreads and the things like that. You've got muesli bars and fruit leathers, the individual packets of sultanas and fruit salad medley, all that sort of thing. Mini yogurts. These yogurt pouches. What is with these yogurt pouches? Now, I'm way past the yogurt pouch stage, you know, and I'm so glad I didn't have to worry about that when I had babies. I used to spoon the yogurt out of the tub into a small container if we were going out, bung a lid on it and take it with a spoon. And I seriously think that kids need to learn how to use cutlery. So sucking their food out of a pouch might seem like a convenient way for them to get it, but it's not teaching them how to use a spoon, how to use a knife, how to hold a fork. It's not teaching them table manners either. So apart from being quite pricey, I personally don't think they're doing your kids and your babies any good with them. But if you want to use them, that's entirely up to you. Just my opinion. But seriously, lots of kids don't know how to use a knife and fork properly, but they can guzzle out of a squirty, squeezy thing. Lost my train of thought. Sorry, folks. Here I am back again. We're talking about snacks, all those things, and the little cheese cubes and the cheese sticks and the little packets of cheese that come with the little tiny squares and the 4 crackers or 6 crackers or however many it is. They're $3. The Coles brand ones of those are $3. I know because I checked at Woolworths in Devonport just last week looking for something because we had eaten most of what we brought with us and was looking for something to have for quick and easy morning teas, afternoon teas, or even a quick lunch on the go. And I was looking for those sorts of things specifically and put them back because they are far too expensive and certainly not nearly enough in them to warrant the price. My kids used to love the Lunchables, though. You could get the Lunchables with the little cheese and little bits of sliced up meat and some crackers. And I used to make them. I just did them, chopped up the meat, chopped up the cheese, gave them some rice crackers or some water crackers or some Ritz or Jats or whatever we had. And I'd put them in little Ziploc bags and pack them into a container for them, and they loved it. And I wasn't paying, and even back then when they were in school, in primary school, when they wanted them, they were $3 and $4 each, and that was way out of my budget. So snacks can add up, and you can see how they can add up quickly, and that doesn't even cover juices, soft drinks, flavoured milks, anything like that wasn't included in what I was talking about. So they all add up to a huge whopping half the average weekly grocery budget. And when you stop and think about it, it's not only a lot of money you're wasting, but it's a heck of a lot of salt and sugar and preservatives and flavorings and colorings and things that you're feeding your family that they really don't need. So if you're stuck with me this far, thank you. We're doing really well. And I'm happy to be here. So we'll keep going. Hard-boiled eggs. Someone asked me about hard-boiled eggs. I boil a dozen at a time in a saucepan. I have a saucepan that fits 12 perfectly, 9 around the outside and 3 in the middle, and that means they hold each other up and they don't jiggle around to break. Top it with water. I sit it on the gas. And once it comes to the boil, I turn the gas off, put the lid on, and leave it for about an hour. Then I tip the hot water into my container in the sink and fill it with cold water, give them a sugar around to chill them, take them straight out and put them in the fridge. They don't go black. They peel really easily. Even fresh eggs will peel easily when they're done that way. And because they're packed in so tightly, I don't have to worry about cracks. Because there's nothing worse than having a cracked egg and you go to open it for a sandwich or something and it's full of water and it's just revolting. So no, I don't worry about that when I do eggs that way. The other way to do eggs, if you have one, is in an electric steamer. My sister-in-law, my brother and sister-in-law gave me a Sunbeam steamer for Christmas. Oh, a long time ago. Hannah was still in primary school. Because I wasn't getting home until late. At that stage, we had the office in Box Hill, and I just wasn't working at home. I was working in the office, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, but the travelling was enormous and it didn't work out. So I tried it for a couple of years and then gave up. But the kids would get the school bus home. Because I wasn't getting home until well after time to put dinner on, I'd do the veggies and things in the morning, put them in the fridge, and then the kids could just put them, even Hannah, and she was only 8, would know to put them in the steamer in the layers, potatoes on the bottom, and then beans next, and then corn and peas on top or whatever, and turn the steamer on. And they would steam and cook for me safely. And that was such a godsend. And I still use it. But it's also good for boiling eggs. You can steam your eggs doing it that way. Set the timer. It usually takes about 30 minutes in a steamer, an electric steamer like that. But again, you don't have cracked eggs and they hard boil or hard steam perfectly. So if you have one of those and you've never tried eggs in it, hop on over to the Debt Free Cashed Up and Laughing blog and search on steamer and it will pop up, or hard-boiled eggs, perfect hard-boiled egg, and it will pop up and you'll see how to do it in detail. It's a really nifty way to boil eggs. So many people have trouble with boiling eggs that they crack and they overboil and the yolks sink to the bottom and there's all sorts of things going on. So that's a good way to boil eggs. But I do them a dozen at a time and put them in a container in the fridge, and then we just nibble on them as a snack. So one hard-boiled egg is a really good serve of protein, but it fills you up. It's a great snack and it's portable. If you have children and they want to go running off to play, hand them an egg and it's portable. They can take it with them. Wayne nibbles on them all the time. If he's hungry, he stays up later than I do and he gets a bit hungry, he'll go to the fridge and I'll have an egg. I will have an egg for my lunch because it's done. It's already there. It's convenient and they're cheap. Look, people talk about eggs being expensive, but when you consider the price of meat or chicken or even pork and especially fish, as a protein source, they are very inexpensive. I buy them I buy free-range eggs from my local green grocer, and they are $2.40 a dozen. So they are very, very cheap. That's about, I don't know, I can't do the math in my head, 12 into $2, 20 cents each. There you go. How hard was that? 20 cents each. So a 20-cent snack is doable for most budgets. And so don't discount eggs. We talked about popcorn on Tuesday night, so I won't go over that again. But there's lots of recipes in the recipe file for different types of marshmallow popcorn balls, and there's caramel corn, and there's the moo version of lolly gobble bliss bombs that is really good, really good. The best thing about those is that they can be done anywhere. You don't need special equipment for them. You don't need special ingredients. They're easy to make in your kitchen at home when you get the urge. We tend to have caramel corn more in winter. It's easy to do. It only takes a few minutes, and I will do it while I'm cleaning up the kitchen after dinner, and then it's done, ready for our movie or whatever we're going to watch or do during the evening. That works too. I've lost my duties. Anyway, so I'm thinking that I'm going to be talking to myself for a while by the looks of things. All right, well, let's get on with elephant ears then, because Thomas will come out soon. He'll sniff them out. He loves them. Elephant ears, I don't know how they got their name. Elephant ears are simply tortillas, or I use wraps because tortillas are too expensive if I haven't made them. So simple wraps. fried in a little hot oil for 30 to 35 seconds on each side, and then dumped straight into cinnamon sugar and tossed. They are delicious. They are really good. A packet of wraps costs $1.99 for 8. So you'll use probably a cup of sugar, which will be about kilos, 270, will be about 20 cents. So, and a spoonful of cinnamon would probably be about 20 cents too, depending on where you buy it from. So you can do a snack for 8 people for $2.40, which brings it down to 40 cents a snack. Now, the secret is to not just give them one like that. I use my pizza cutter to cut them into quarters, or if you're doing them for little people, 8ths. And you'll have more pieces, and it's the old psychological trick of more always looks better. So if you were to put out just 8 round ones like that, they're big, but there's only 8. You cut them up into pieces, it looks like there's a whole lot more. So it's a really simple thing to do. Now, before you start with your cooking, you need to make your cinnamon sugar, because your tortillas or your wraps go straight from the hot oil into the sugar. So it needs to be ready to go before you even think about cooking. Now, I've done some ahead. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, it's not going to work for me. I don't want to spill it everywhere, but there it is. Now, I've used this big square Tupperware container, and it is the cinnamon sugar container. It has become the cinnamon sugar container in our family, because it holds a whole wrap. Will just fit into it, just like, you can't see because the light's really bad. Sorry, folks. Just like that, just drop a whole, and it will fit nicely. Then I can use my tongs to flip it, do the other side before I take it out onto the board to cut up. What was I going to say? Then you'll need oil. Now, a vegetable oil, just a light vegetable oil. Olive oil is too heavy and will leave a flavour, so you don't want to be able to taste the oil. So a light vegetable oil, I've just got this one from Aldi. It's just sunflower oil. See that? And you only need enough in the pan to cover the bottom of the pan. You don't need it to be deep, just a little in the pan, but it does need to be hot, because you want to drop your tortilla in, have it go and puff up so you can flip it straight away. So I've done the cinnamon sugar. Now I'm going to light the gas, and I'm using the back burner. I always use the back burner. I never use the front burners on my gas. Something I was taught in school. Always use the back burners, only use the front ones if you have to, so that pans don't get knocked. So just a very little oil, just probably 2 tablespoons, it looks like. Very little, swish it around, let it get hot. Now I'm going to put my exhaust fan on, because this is oil and it is going to smell. So you might get the sound of that over the clip. I'm really sorry if you do. Once the oil is hot, I will drop in an elephant ear, a tortilla. I can put the gas lighter away, and I can put those away. Take my tongs. Now, I washed my hands before we started, in case you're wondering. I did wash my hands before we started, straight away before we started, so my hands are clean, but I will use tongs anyway, because I'm a bit of a klutz, and I will probably end up dropping my finger into the hot oil or something ridiculous like that. Okay, so, and just going to tear off a tiny piece of the wrap. There's no bubbles yet. Oh, it's getting there, because you only use such a little amount of oil. It does not take long to heat up. So drop it in. No, not quite. Not quite fucking up. Oh, maybe. Okay, so there goes one tortilla. I usually count to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. and turn. You can see that it's starting to puff, and the same on the other side. And it's puffing up beautifully. Yay! Turning brown. Yes, here it comes. Bring the sugar over so I can pop it straight in. Flip it over again. Just perfect. Yes. Love it when elephant ears work. Now, let's see how big and puffy that is. Straight into the sugar. And flip it over a couple of times. Pop the lid on. Swish. Ah, yum. Okay. And onto a plate ready to be cut. Okay. So, don't let your oil burn. So turn it down. I've disappeared on you, sorry. Turn it down once it gets hot. In between wraps or tortillas. I'm very croaky today. Let the oil reheat. Again, it's popping up. Fluffing, fluffing, fluffing. You can see the tortilla or the wrap puffing up. You can hear it too. Oh, brilliant. There we go, some more. Excuse me, folks. I've got a cup of tea here. That might help my croaky voice. I don't know that it did. Yeah. Ah, wonderful. Oh, look. Look at that. Can you see it? I'm not very good at this, am I? I need to perfect this. Toss it in the sugar. Oh, they smell so good. The hot cinnamon sugar is just delightful. Oh, it smells really good. Okay. Now, these are really good hot or cold. So if you want to make a whole lot of them and pack them in zippy bags for lunch boxes, go right ahead. They'll work really well. Great snack. My boys used to swap these for bought treats with the kids at school, which I always thought was hilarious because the bought treats cost a fortune. These things cost almost nothing to make. They'd swap them for muesli bars or roll-ups or things like that, yogos and things like that. And that's another thing that you can do quite easily. Make a custard, a chocolate custard, a vanilla custard, a banana custard, whatever type of custard your kids like. And instead of putting it in one big container, put it into little containers and let them have their treats that way. I know that people say the kids lose the containers. Teach them not to. You know, you're the parents. You get to teach them. You get to choose what they have and what they don't have. So teach them not to. They need to, if they can't respect their belongings when they're little, they're not going to respect their belongings or yours as they get older. So, you know, we had a rule. If there was a container in the lunchbox, it had to come home with the lid and the spoon or fork, whatever I'd sent with them. Now, I didn't spend a lot of money on containers when they were little. They were all op-shop specials or ones that had been given to me or, you know, recycled from something else. But those containers still had to come home. My kids had to learn that there was a value to them. And what I used to do is, if they come home and said they've lost the lid to their container, well, sorry, well, no more Yogo, no more jelly, no more fruit for you until next term. They had to wait a whole term because they had to learn that things cost money, and mum and dad have to work to earn the money to buy those things. They're not free. irrespective of what little people think, because they don't have a sense of value of things often. They see, you know, mummy goes to work, but they don't know what mummy does, or daddy goes to work. They don't know really how hard daddy works to earn the money, because they don't actually see money. We're living in pretty much a cashless society. Turn the gas off before I overheat the oil. And I shall just slip my tongs into the sink. Thank you. So if they were allowed to have the containers, but they had to come home. If they didn't come home, then they didn't get any more. They had to wait a whole term before they were allowed to have any more, because that's how long it would take me or their dad to earn the money to buy a new one, because we had other things to do with our money. Our children always knew that we had a budget. We had bills to pay, and that was how it went. I would show them if they asked for something and it wasn't in my budget, I didn't have the money for it, I would open my purse and I would show them, and I explained to them that, you know, that was the petrol money, that's the milk money, that's the money for church, that's to buy the light globe for the bathroom or whatever, and explain to them. And I'd just say, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but mummy doesn't have money in her purse to buy that today. And they understood that. And it was much better than me just saying no all the time. No, we can't afford it. It's a really depressing thing for an adult. But it must be mind-numbing for children to hear that constantly, no, we can't afford it. So explaining to them that we had money, but it was allocated for other things, they grasped that concept quite well. And then saying to them that we can save up to buy whatever is also good. And what we used to do with our kids was, if it was something they particularly wanted, a toy or a new book or a game or whatever, they had to earn the money. So when they earned the money, then we'd take them to buy it. And they were all very good at doing that. Hannah was especially good at doing that. She's still very good at it. But they all knew from a very early age that if they wanted something, they had to work to earn the money to buy it. I can say that I'm really thrilled with the way they've turned out. None of them have any debt. They've all been overseas. What else? Yes, they all live at home, but they pay their own way. It's not a free ride by any means. They pay their board. They all have to pay their own, buy their own toiletries. The only thing I occasionally help out with in the toiletry department is if I find a really good half-price sale on, sorry, that's annoying me, a really good half-price sale on Lynx deodorants for the boys, and I know they use those, so I will buy a few for them. Or toothbrushes, I'm always looking for toothbrushes. If I find a really good deal on toothbrushes, I buy them and I put them in the cupboard, and they're welcome to help themselves to those. But they all have their own favourite soaps and their favourite body washes and their favourite shampoos and conditioners and all sorts of garbage. So that's now their responsibility, not mine. They also pay for their own phones. They use the house internet, but they pay for a share of that in their board. And just because they pay board doesn't mean they get out of chores. If they were living in a unit or a house of their own, they'd be paying the mortgage or the rent, and they'd still have to do chores too. So board doesn't mean they're out of chores. They still have to help with the dishes and the washing and the vacuuming and the cleaning the bathrooms and mowing the lawn and helping me with the groceries and cooking, anything like that. So we taught them from an early age, and I think that maybe that's why they're as responsible as they are. They're all very responsible young people, and we're very proud of them. But we didn't expect anything else from them, and they knew they had to be. And even from when they were started at preschool with their containers with their jelly and fruit in it or whatever, they knew that if they didn't bring it home, they didn't get any more. So if you have a problem with little people and losing containers, it is frustrating, but perhaps if you explain to them, they have to bring it home because there are no more. And if they don't bring it home, they won't be able to have whatever it is in their lunchbox again. That might help. There we go. But don't send expensive things to school. Seriously, the mothers and fathers that send very expensive things to their children, school lunchboxes, that's just asking for disaster. Because, you know, if it's expensive, it's going to get lost. If it's a freebie that you're recycling, it'll come back for years. Okay, so there's the elephant ears done. I will take a bite and try it because I like them too. They're really good. They're really, really good. If Wayne was here, he'd say they'd be really, really good with whipped cream and ice cream, and they would be like a pancake. Yum. Banana and honey, banana and syrup, yum. But they're a great snack. Easy to make, and once your kids reach probably 10 or so, they'll be old enough to make their own. Yep, we like elephant ears. Well, I've talked for 31 minutes, would you believe, to myself because there's nobody here. Okay, well, in that case, no questions. I'll be back on Tuesday night with Hannah. And next week, I was going to talk about, it's gone right out of my head. And if I shut this down to find it, I'll lose you. But anyway, I'll be back next Tuesday, same time, 7:30, same channel, Cheapskates Club. And we'll have a chat and see what we can do. Now, please, when you watch this later on, give us a big thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, that helps, not only helps us with our YouTube ratings, but it helps me know that you actually like what we're doing, and in which case I'll keep doing it. And if you subscribe, that means that you don't need to wonder if I'm doing it, because you'll get a reminder. YouTube will send you a reminder before each show to let you know that I'm about to pop up and scare the daylights out of you. And share, please share, because the more people we have watching and the more people we have subscribing, the more encouraged I am to know that you're really interested and you really want to learn about frugal living, the way I live it, the way I do it, which is not the way most people do. I'll be honest and say that. It's not. We are a very different frugal family to most. So remember to like, thumbs up, subscribe so you never miss a show, and share so that you can spread the word, and we'll just keep getting better and better and better. Don't forget that we have in the notes below, there will be a link if you've got a question. Click that link to ask a question. I'll try and answer it on a next show. And or if you've got a topic that you want me to talk about, please let me know. I'm happy to do that. And what else was there? Like, subscribe, share, ask a question. Oh, subscribe. We're over 640 subscribers now. When we hit that 1,000 subscribers, we have the best giveaway planned, the best ever giveaway plan. It is so exciting and so good. So please, the more people we have subscribing, the faster we get to the 1,000, the sooner we'll be able to do the giveaway. And it's really, really good. We were talking about it after Tuesday night show. We've decided what it is. And when we get to about 900, I'll let you know so that you can get, but don't, you know, you'll be excited. You will be really excited. So please remember to share, like, share, and subscribe. Okay, well, thank you so much for rewatching. Hope you try elephant ears. They're really, really good. Really, really, really good. And delicious hot or cold, and they pack up well in the school bag. All right, I'll see you on Tuesday.